Howdy folks, I'm Bob Schrupp, physical therapist.
Brad Heineck, physical therapist.
Together we are the most famous physical therapists on the internet.
In our opinion, of course, Bob.
Brad, today we want to talk about bikes and back pain and sciatica.
Bicycles, yeah, or some of this information does kind of relate to motorcycles, but we're talking about bicycles. If you're an avid bicycler and you've got a back problem and you're wondering how to bike.
You got problems.
Right. Or if you want to get into biking, but you have back problems and they've told you you can't bike, you got back problems or something of that, but I've got back problems. I bike frequently and I ride up to 50 miles. Last year I went 70 miles all in one stretch. So you can bike if you got back problems. Depending on the severity of it, of course, but how to set the bike up is important.
Right.
And even if you don't have back problems, set it up properly so you don't get back problems.
Don't develop back problems, because with biking you can. I mean, you are putting your back in that position that you can
the posture on most of these bikes, these road bikes like this one with these drop handlebars, let's just take a look at the spine. If you're sitting here and you're reaching for the bars, particularly if you're in the aero bars, your back will start to round forward out of the neutral position, putting stress on the discs, particularly in the low back, but also up into the upper back and even the neck.
And it helps that your arms are supported, because if you were just hanging out there, it would be a lot worse. But generally in the world of back pain, this is the bad position, this rounded out C curve. That slumped, slouched position.
Right.
It's generally, over time, really does wear things out and puts your back under a lot of stress.
Particularly with biking, because you're not on there for just 5 or 10 minutes. You go for a longer bike ride.
Plus a little shock absorption.
Exactly. I was going to say the same thing, Bob. You're bouncing on that road, and that just amplifies everything going through the back and the spine, because these seats don't have big cushions in them or shock absorbers.
Speaking of amplify, by the way, I want to amplify our channel. If you're new to our channel, please take a second to subscribe to us. We got a subscription button here or down here. We provide videos how to stay healthy, fit, pain-free, and we upload every day.
There you go. So
all right.
I do want to talk, if you don't have a road bike, or you don't want a road bike like this with the skinny tires, you just want a cross trainer, which is, excellent.
That's what I have.
Right? Excellent bikes to have. I just couldn't bring all these bikes in here today, but the concepts are the same. Cross trainers are typically, or mountain bikes are going to give you a little bit better posture because the handlebars might be higher, but we'll get into that a little bit.
That's what was important to me.
Right.
I wanted to get that handlebar up. I wanted to be fairly straight when I'm riding.
Exactly. But as far as the position of the seat compared to the pedals, it's going to be the same on any bike. And that's one of the big things you need to adjust first, is where your seat height, the height of your seat. Oftentimes, and I see this a lot, I went to a 2-day course on how to fit bikes, and they say by far the biggest problem with bikers is their seats are too low.
Oh, I see a guy in our neighborhood. I just want to go and stop him. I go, raise your seat, because his knees are way up like this, and it's just, you can see it's really hard on his back the entire time, and legs.
And the knees, you know that patellofemoral stresses are going in there. So let's get on here and let's talk about the seat height. How do you adjust the seat, and where should it be? So we'll get on the old girl here, and let's go for a ride, huh? Just kidding, Bob. Okay, so you're going to put your foot on the pedal. If you have flats, that's fine, where you don't clip in. It's the same concept. You're going to put your foot so that the forefoot is on the pedal. You're going to drop it all the way down. If you do not have a trainer like this to lock your bike in, it's pretty hard to do this. Someone else has to hold the bike.
Right.
Or you're going to eyeball it when you're riding. You can be coasting, put the bike down, and then get your foot, not so it's pointed like this, or so it's the other way, so it's parallel to the floor.
So the bottom right here should be completely parallel.
Exactly. And in that position, your knee should have about a 10 to 14 degree flexed knee, bent knee, and that's talking in physical therapy terms. In other words, it should be not perfectly straight. It should have a slight bend.
Slight bend.
Just a slight bend, and Bob's measured it up right there.
And you're at 11, 12.
Okay, so I'm right in the middle there, so that's good. You can see it's almost straight. This is locked out straight. We don't want it straight like that. And the other thing is, if your seat's too high, you'll find your hips will be teetering back and forth, because as you go down, you're reaching for that pillow, and that can be hard on your back. So if the seat's too high, it can be hard on your back, and if it's too low, which most people have it, then what happens is you get more of a tilt, and you round your back out even more if the seat's too low, because your knee comes way up where it shouldn't be, and you get more of a flexed low back, and you're already flexing your back because you're leaning forward. So if it's
that
too
makes everything worse.
right,
Makes
it's
everything worse.
putting you into that fetal position. So get that position, the seat at the right height, so you're right about at that 10 to 14 degrees, slightly bent, and then to get the seat forward and backwards. This is not so critical. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it. You got to pedal on it. Make sure your bottom is right on the seat where you feel comfortable. Stop at the 3 o'clock position. And I'm going to use this. Normally I use a plumb bob, a string with a weight on it, and go right over the patella and right down. It should line up with the axis of the pedal. And mine's too far forward. Actually, my seat's got to go back, so it ends up being right about in here. Again, if you're a serious biker, you get into that more
that's
often.
a whole different
I'm
thing.
not going to talk about it more than that, but the seat forward and backward does have its position. Now, this is the other big one. We already referred to it before with Bob, the position of the handlebars. We need those handlebars up as high as you can. And if anybody's out there as a road biker, they're looking at this and they're saying, you're not going to get very fast with this because this is a special neck that I can adjust. I can put it way down low, which would get me way down in this position. So aerodynamically, I'm efficient and fast, but my back hurts when I ride like this. So I put this up as high as I can. When I ride, I rarely go in the drops. You know, I'm more aerodynamically efficient, but up here I'm more comfortable. And a lot of times I'll go up in here.
And that's about where I'm at all the time.
Right.
I don't even go, and obviously I'm not efficient at all, and I'm not a real serious biker by any means.
Right, but
So-
I have just as much fun here, and I'm still, you know, I like to go get my speed up sometimes when I ride with my buddy. When I ride with my wife, it's a different story, but I'm happier up here. My back feels better when I'm
Sure.
up here. And then another big thing is change position when you're riding. That is one nice thing about these kind of handlebars as opposed to the handlebars that go straight across like on a mountain bike. I can go down here, and sometimes, you know, I'll ride down here for a few minutes and it feels good just to stretch out. Then I can come in here, and I'll come in here, and if my hand's getting on, aero bars come on really handy because when I go in this position, my hands go on them. You know, if I'm going for speed, I'm in this position for sure, but I don't do that a lot anymore. I ride for get the aerobic exercise and because it's fun. Keep my heart healthy, my back
So,
healthy.
I think that just as important, Brad, is doing some of the stretches before and after.
You got a good point.
Yeah.
What are you going to do before you get on the bike? We talked about this hunched position, this fetal position our back is in, so we need to correct.
Yeah, this is what I do before I get on my bike. I go lay down on my carpet, and I go ahead and do some extensions like this, Brad. I go ahead and lay on my stomach.
Yep.
And I put my hands below my shoulders.
Yep.
And I'm lifting up like this. And, you know, over time, you can work yourself up further and further. These are a
Right.
good stretch to do for the average person anyway. To
Right
do.
in here, getting that arch going the
But
opposite
see,
direction.
I'm not lifting my pelvis up like this. I'm keeping the pelvis down, and I'm lifting it and bending the back the opposite
Exactly.
direction, preparing for that time where I'm on the bike. The other thing I do, Brad, is I actually use a foam roller, and I do get my mid back a little bit
Sure.
too.
Yep.
I'll just.
Oh yeah, because your whole back is getting rounded
Yeah.
out on a bike, so this is a great tool for.
So I just do this right before I go on the bike, and I roll it out and get ready for that.
Yeah. And you can do it before or after all these stretches. And
Right.
when
Before and after.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. After I get off of a bike ride, I got spondylolisthesis. My back doesn't tolerate after about an hour and a half of riding. I get off, I'm pretty stiff. I'm unable to do this for a little while. It takes a little bit, then I can start doing this. But before I'll ride, I'll do a little bit of this, not a lot with that particular diagnosis. I don't do this one because it doesn't fit my back, but most people, this one or this
Right.
one is going to be good.
The other one, Brad, I don't know if this is too early to talk about, but I mean, you can do cat camel also.
Sure.
It's really good to get your some motion in your back. And I even do this on the bike, Brad.
Right.
I'm biking along, and I'll go like this to loosen up my
You
back.
put your knees on the seat or something?
No,
Just, no, so he's sitting on the
I'm
seat.
sitting on the seat, and I'm going like this.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
So, all right. Do you want to show some more stretches, Brad?
Yeah, because the other important things are, you know, using your hamstrings. If you're clipped in, if you're clipped in and you're pulling up on the backside for your efficiency and plus working more muscle groups, you definitely work on hamstring stretch. As you know, when you're pulling up on a pedal, it's not all hamstring, but a lot of it is hamstring, a lot of hip flexors. So we're going to stretch the hamstrings out. The knee needs to be straight. We're not rounding into that position.
Not bouncing too much, Brad.
Right. We're going to keep straight, hold that for 30 seconds or so. And I always say better to stretch for 5 or 10 seconds than none. But you know, they say 30 seconds is a good time to hold it.
And it's good to stretch that out because if the hamstrings get tight on you, they will pull on your back and flatten out your back.
Exactly.
So
the hip flexor and the quads, this is a simple one you can do just before you get on your bike. You don't have to do anything fancy. Hold on to your bike or your car. That's what I do. Stretch out the quads, take your hip and throw it forward. That gets the hip flexor. That's the muscle that's working on the pull-up phase of the pedal stroke. And then I've gotten cramps in my calf muscles biking already.
Oh, have you really?
Oh, yeah. If you don't have one of these and you're a serious biker, it's worth getting one or making one. They work great, easy to stretch. You can just use your body weight to relax, and you know, you can talk to whoever you're riding your bike with before you get going and just stretch out for a few minutes.
Running.
Yep.
How about when you're riding the bike, Brad? Are there any positional changes you'll do?
I like to stay upright.
Yeah.
Really, what I do is the ones I've already mentioned, and I'll just sit up straight on the bike and you know, stretch backwards if I feel comfortable letting go of the handlebars at the time.
And if you really are having difficulty with back pain, you probably do want to do more short increments.
Right.
And maybe stop, walk around a little bit, do some back extensions,
Right.
and then get back on again.
Yeah, exactly. When we did that 70-mile ride last year, it was on a tandem, which even kind of fixes you more into the bike with worse posture. We stopped 3 different times, got off, walked. I laid on my back, and I did some stretching. So it wasn't 70 miles straight.
Yeah, we're not telling you that if you have back pain to go ahead and do this, but we're trying to say that there may be an option here that you can get back to biking.
Yeah, these are things you can try and be very successful with.
Yeah, sounds good. All right, remember, we can fix just about anything.
Right, except for that
Broken arm.
but we're working on that.
We'll bike up to it.
You better believe
All right,
it.
thanks.